So Jin-woo resurrects himself, and his death allows his body to truly awaken, allowing him to channel the full power of the Shadow Monarch that came before him. And now Jin-woo's just effectively immortal, like he has this domain that's a realm in between life and death where he can just do whatever he wants. And he just manifested this tree out of nothing. So he could just choose to live in this dream world forever. But nah, he chooses to face all his adversaries, and from this realm, he says it, arise. Now remember, the whole point of the system was to help him gradually use the Monarch's power and work up to using the full strength. So it says the system will now be deleted and all limits on the player are removed. But not just him, all of his soldiers as well will be returned to how strong they were when they were alive. This includes Igris and Biru and everybody else. And it says the Shadow Monarch Ashborn is returning to the world of eternal void. So that was his name, the Monarch before Jin-woo. Would you like to delete the system? Of course, Jin-woo says yes, and we get this whole screen, and it shows in the real world the sky is lighting up, and Jin-woo's previously dead body is now shooting aura everywhere. Now the Frost Monarch is asking Jin-woo's dad why he's protecting him, as he has the power of the rulers, but he's defending a monarch. So why are you helping bring disaster to the world? It just doesn't make sense to him why he'd protect this enemy with his life. But the beast is like, hold up, we don't got much time. So everybody locks in, including Drippy Woo's dad, like he looks so cool, and they just set to jump my man, and they all turn into a blur. Of course, they running down on him together, and bro tries to impale him, but he just ducks it and like uses the staff to block the beast and just weaves through them both while stabbing him in the stomach. And bro shook because he's completely reading his movements, so they can tell he experienced his shit. Bro's a max prestige because he's just barely avoiding both of their attacks at the same time. So Yo tries to use his ice breath, he just kicks him in the mouth, stopping him before he can. It's dead ass like he's playing a game he already understands. And the beast try to chomp his head off, so he just sticks his knife out and stabs up through his snout. Yeah bro, I bet that shit did hurt. And then he rocks him with a body shot and sends him skidding backwards. Now he's getting mad, saying I'ma tear you apart, but then all of a sudden he gets this chill that makes him fall to the ground, and he slowly turns his head to see this aura that's emanating from Jin-woo. So he jumps back even further because the shit is getting stronger, but the Ice King is still locked and loaded and talking shit. He said let's attack again, but the beast was like nah, I'm good. Wait, what? You about to stop after coming this far? Are you out of your mind? Bro, hold up, can't you feel it? The mana surrounding us has started to cry. The Shadow Monarch is coming. And this shit is cold as hell with his dad just defending him like, bro, he said, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. And he like, wait, you promised to help me beat him. But he said, nah, that was when he was in human form. I ain't say nothing about all this. But come on, yo, you really about to run away? You the beast monarch. Come on, yo, have some pride. But he says, bro, you don't understand because you've never seen the Shadow Monarch's true power. Then he says, I'll pray for you, and jumps in the portal. Now he calls him a foolish bastard, but he really wanted to call him a bitch. But whatever. Taste the terror of frost, you weakling. This is my true power. Then he stabs his trident into the ground and it causes a blizzard. And the shit's crazy, like cars are flying everywhere. And inside the storm, he made a bunch of ice arrows to have them rain directly down on Jin-woo and his dad. So he's still doing a good job defending him, but he's just going even harder, saying these mere humans dare to challenge me. And he pulls a Madara and forms a giant ice glacier in the sky and says, be trapped in the eternal void with the Shadow Monarch. Now he's looking worried because he about to destroy the whole area, but then one of the arrows hits him and just tears off his arm, but the rest of the arrows are still falling, with the big ass glacier right behind them. But then something flies up and destroys it. Hey, man alive, Biru's still kicking. And since the Shadow Army has been fully restored, Igris can speak and says, Frost Monarch, do not assume the position of the king with only that much power. After seeing that the troops are fully restored to their original strength, he's like, wait a minute. That means, yes, we all know what it means. And this is why Jin-woo says I shouldn't trust prophecies. Now, upon sensing that Jin-woo was resurrecting himself and the Shadow Monarch was coming, the Beast Monarch just cut open a portal, told the King of Frost, I'll pray for you, and then just dipped off. He called him a foolish bastard, but he should have called him a bitch. But he looks pretty smart when he's the only one standing around, as Jin-woo busts out the ice in full form. But then he's like, wait a minute, did the Beast Monarch run away? Who dares to leave without my permission? Who does Jin-woo think he is? But then bro just gets this chill because all he sees is a wall he can't overcome. He can just tell off rip that Jin-woo is way more powerful than him. Like the gap is just way too great. But while he's standing here, the shadow aura starts to expand around him. Then the whole block, then the whole country, the whole continent. It basically envelops the entire world. He says, ah, I found you. Now while he was doing this with his back turned, the Frost Monarch felt like this was the only opening he was ever gonna have. So he launches his his trident, but Jin-woo just slowly turns, puts up his hand, and completely destroys it just by blocking it. So damn, this must have been what the Beast Monarch was talking about. But he says, I'm saving you for last, so wait here patiently until I finish taking out the beast. Opening up on some, and the Beast Monarch walks out of it, but he says he can feel the aura of death closing in on him. And now I feel dumb for arguing with the Ice King because I could have ran away faster. But he just plans to lay low here and hide until the Dragon Monarch comes. But wait a minute. He's right behind me, isn't he? So Jin-woo can just go anywhere in the world at any time. And bro can just feel the overwhelming power gap and falls to his knees. I can't run, I can't do anything. So he just bows his head as a reflex to obey him. Now he says, I do not wish to fight you. Please forgive me and accept me as your ally. In the near future, the King of Dragons will set foot on this island with his soldiers, and I with my beast army shall assist you. So Jin-woo's like, alright, bet. Ah, you fool. He's not like the real monarch. Ashborn would never forgive somebody that betrayed him once. And I even tried to get rid of his vessel like bro's a dummy. But now I've bought some time until the King of Dragons comes, so when the time comes, I can rip him apart. But he says, I shall serve you loyally. Now Jin-woo says, that's fine and all, but we gotta settle our debts. You know, I have 5 scars from your claws that pierced my heart. I have 5 attacks from me. Now buddy's just sick and gets mad as shit like, ain't no way you mocking me like this. Even though I'm about to die, you're not getting out of here without a scratch. So he pulls out the Tooth of Kamesh and really just turns into a black blur across the screen and just blitzes right past him as he slashes the shit out of him. And after he took off his arm, Jin-woo says, alright, 4 more left. Now the Frost Monarch is just back in Korea watching. Like, I don't know about the ant that's healing the humans, but this one right here is certainly an issue as he dodges an attack. He's talking about Egress, saying he's seen him before, the Knight of Death, one of the 2 wings of the Shadow Army. He even knows him by his name. And now that he's got his full power back, bro's a damn problem. Plus they can just keep regenerating as long as Jin-woo has mana. Well, he can't recover the mana he's used up, so he's fighting them all. He's like, come on, do you really think you can beat me, a monarch? But then Egress just puts down his sword and spreads his cape so Jin-woo could come out this portal. Like, bro, this is the coldest shit ever right here. Yeah, you ain't talking no more of that shit now. He throws down the Beast Monarch's teeth. And well, he's dead. Bro was shook cause damn, he killed him in the few minutes that he was gone. Now the Plague Monarch, the Beast Monarch, and the Frost Monarch, the death of these 3 will serve as a message to the others. He's just talking crazy straight to his face. I mean, you do what you want when you pop it. He just shoots a bunch of daggers and tears him up. He tries to use his ice breath. Shh, I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Pulls out the dagger. He slashes him directly up his face, I think. But he survived it, so I wonder how much more you can take. It doesn't take long at all. His blue color like explodes away and he just fades into dust. Gets carried up into the sky. Jin-woo's like, hold up, where the dude that protected me? Biru said he just disappeared. He goes over to look at the weapons he was using. So after Jin-woo resurrects himself and takes out the 2 monarchs that were trying to kill him, he asks Biru where's the guy that protected his body, but he already disappeared. Now we've seen who it was, but he never saw who was risking their life to protect him. So he starts looking closer at the weapons he left behind as it shows this guy bleeding and walking along this wall. Before he sits down and we see that it's him. It's his dad trying to catch his breath after losing an arm, but then his body just starts to fade away. I guess these are the consequences of receiving God's powers with a mere human body. But he says it's fine, this is how it should be. Then his knife slides over and hits him in the foot, and he says, come on, you really think I wouldn't know if you left like that? You about to just dip off without saying anything again? And finally, he reunites with his dad. But then he starts to explain what happened to him, about how gates are a giant hole that summon monsters, and after you beat the boss of one, you have to get out within an hour. However, I had no choice but to be trapped within the dimensional rift. And that's exactly where it shows him. The rulers lent me their strength and requested for me to stop the monarchs. And this included the Shadow Monarch that was soon to be born. So after having no way to escape the dungeon, he had no choice. I came back to Earth as the ruler's emissary with a heavy responsibility. However, I could not fulfill that duty once he seen that the Shadow Monarch was his own son. Of course, he can't follow through with killing him. Even though I knew the worst calamity of humanity was inside your body, I couldn't do anything but observe from a distance. Meanwhile, the rulers were starting to change their positions on everything. everything, and issued a new order telling him to protect the Shadow Monarch. They realized they needed the Shadow Monarch's power to stop the rest of the monarchs, and it was just a huge gamble not knowing which side Jin-woo was going to choose, to defend the humans or side with the monarchs, but now we know the results. And all of that is why I helped you, but I just didn't want to show you this side of me. But he's just like, Dad, but he asked, did you hate me? Well, yes, sometimes, and he can only apologize. And when I first started going on missions and would barely make it alive to see Mom and Jin-ah, that's when you'd pop into my head, and I always hated you when it happened, but I also missed you as well. But what about you? Did you miss me or us as well? And bro's eye starts watering like, he busts out crying saying, I missed y'all all the time. And even though you couldn't see me, I was just happy I got to watch from afar. And he's starting to fade even faster, so he gets up, walks over to Jin-woo, and gives him a hug. You've grown well. And bro starts crying hard as shit as he fades away in his arms. Now he asks, is it the rulers? Like, are they making you do this and throwing you away? And he says, nah, they gave me the opportunity to make a choice and I chose to protect you, and I don't regret anything about it. Now, I wanted to talk to you more and to stay with you longer. So really, man, I'm sorry I couldn't be a great father to you. And he just fades away in his arms. There it is. They got me right there at the very end. And Jin-woo just balls his hand up into a fist and starts screaming and punching shit around him. And it shows his mom looking out the window. And she says, Jin-ah, yeah, I think we can move now. Yeah, I feel like we can go now, because she was only waiting for her husband to return, but I guess she can feel him die. While Jin-woo is just cussing at the sky. Hey, listen, you monarchs, you're definitely gonna pay for this shit that happened today. Y'all hear me? You're fucking cooked. Now, the day that the Shadow Monarch's outcry shook the world was the day when the prelude to war rose. Jin-woo goes home, his family hugs him. These two are still talking shit to each other like they both weren't shitting bricks. Bro's talking about, hey, is your heart all right? I seen you was petrified back there. He's like, bro, I can see you sweating in this rain. And after seeing that the Frost and Beast Monarchs were taken out, Woo-jin can finally thank Jin-woo for avenging the chairman. It doesn't look like the big gate over the city disappeared, and the narrator says, however, it shows all the hunters just gathering below it. My bro is just like, damn, because as big as it is, it could just suck all the hunters up into it. Thomas is there too, and he can tell it's about to start. They're all prepared to go right back to war. Of course, Jin-woo's already here too. Sha Hae-in walks up on him saying, I've never seen you this nervous before. Damn, look at her outfit. Jin-woo's just focused because soon this bitch is about to open. Well, even though Jin-woo took out the two monarchs that pulled up, they didn't come out of the gate that was over the city, so this shit is still about to break. And all the powerful hunters are still mobilized to defend whatever comes out of it. And it finally starts to crack, so whatever it is coming. The first thing everybody sees is a massive army. He's like, wait a minute, that's like these shadow versions of the ruler soldiers? Then a big ass dragon. Check that, 3 big ass dragons with a bunch more of the soldiers, and this beautiful commander leading them out. Like, this shit looks hard. All the hunters get ready to attack, but Jin-woo says loud as shit, nobody move. They're like, bro, why are you stopping us? He's like, don't worry, it's all right. As he takes a good look at the leader of them all. He thinks Jin-woo is tripping, like the best chance to attack them is while they're in the sky. Just look at how many of them there are, like, bro. Jin-woo walks up to face them, just has a stare down with the commander before he bows to his knee and introduces himself as Grand Marshal Bellion. We respectfully greet our liege, and all the dragons and everybody else bows too. I can't even turn it sideways, but bro, he got a bunch of calamities. They're all like, hold up, what the hell is going on? Thomas is like, yo, you see them shits? One of these joints could threaten humanity. He's got all 3 of them gathered in one place. Jin-woo's thinking this is the real Shadow Army, what Ashbourne left behind for me. And we get this cool ass screensaver like, bro, shit is tough. It's so long and Jin-woo's down at the bottom with Egress right behind him. Now is the start of the real war. And now it cuts over to the Hunters Association. The whole world wants an explanation as to what they just saw Jin-woo do. People want to interview him because that shit was crazy. A whole army came out the portal and bowed before him. He's like, damn, he just had to pop out like that, huh? Woo-jin is like, bro, did you want monsters to come out the gate? Nah, that's not what I meant, bro. Do you really think that instead of getting calls for interview requests, you should get calls from the families of deceased hunters and get away with only being this free? But also, everybody's worried because Jin-woo just be disappearing. He's like, come on, bro, this isn't the first time he's done that. We gotta get used to it. If the Hunter Association can't understand what he's dealing with, then how will anybody else? Bro apologizes for being an ass. He sighs like, I wonder what Jin-woo is doing right now. And it cuts over to him standing in Tusk's hand, just overseeing this ungodly large shadow army. The whole force has divided into two sides, like a makeshift battle for a training exercise. Jin-woo says that's good, they can't die anyway. Then Beru pulls up like, my king, please test my qualifications for the Grand Marshal position. He's coming over here because he wants to take his spot. He just straight up says he challenges him to a battle. Of course he's interested because it's his two strongest soldiers fighting. Now they just staring each other down. You know my boy had to flex his aura real quick. Then Bellion just slowly pulls out his sword and jacks Igris' pose real quick. But he's much bigger compared to Igris, and so is his sword, so he probably leans more towards power than speed. Well, if that's the case, then Beru might have a shot as they run down on each other. Then he swings his sword and it expands like a whip, zigzagging all back and forth, and Beru has to jump back. He just completely surrounds him with it, wraps him up completely, and it just pins him to the ground. He's like, damn, you did him like that? He completely neutralized Beru in an instant. His strength and reflexes are beyond what I expected. He still shouldn't let his guard down. The main strength of an insect is its tenacity. And it cuts over to the strongest hunter from China arriving home after everything. He's getting reports from people saying that there's no reason for them to go out and help South Korea. He's like, who the fuck is saying that dumb shit? Like, do they not have a brain or something? Do they not realize what country is just above South Korea? Let's tell them this. I was not confident in my ability to stop something that Jin-woo couldn't, so I went to help him. If whatever it was got past him, I'm positive we'd be cooked here. As he's saying that, he walks outside. He says, oh, no way. A new gate has now formed over China. A brand new gate appears in the sky over China. It shows somebody saying, oh, so the Shadow Monarch has turned against us. Very well, I will take care of him myself. So y'all don't gotta do anything. Must prevent further losses in our forces. He says, my soldiers, but these ain't no damn soldiers. These are fucking dragons. He tells them to prepare for battle. Well, obviously, the Dragon Monarch is coming. Then it cuts to Beru getting slammed into the ground. It turns out he's not stronger than the Grand Marshal. He got his shit whooped in front of everybody. He's like, my liege, I can still go on. I can keep going. He's like, bro, why are you so obsessed? Why do you want to be the Grand Marshal? It's just because he always wants to be by his side. He's like, all right, bro, he can stand on my right and you can stand on my left. Bro, Beru's the best character in this fucking show. He's about to start glazing, but Jin-woo's like, cut that shit out. Eager's like, hey, I want a chance too, but bro, you can just stand behind me, yo. And they all look over and notice the dragons and Tusk look like they over here shooting dice. But then the dragons shoot their fire in the sky, and it goes all the way up to pierce the clouds. Tusk is like, is that all you got? That's all good. Big ass fire blast. It punched a big ass hole through the clouds, clearing out the sky. So the dragon's just looking at him hating. This one looking at us. Bro giving a thumbs up like he hot shit. He was like, that's kind of cheating because he using the orb and shit. But then the rest of the troops start moving on their own, so he asks what they're doing. And the marshal says they're about to build a house for the king to rest comfortably. Now he asks why he isn't pulling the soldiers back into his shadow. He just wants them to take a breather. They were stuck in the dimensional rift until we came here. Now Bellion, aren't you sad that you can no longer see Ashborn, the first Shadow Monarch? He says, I was by his side back when he fought the rest of the disciples. I proclaimed myself to be his first soldier when he got the power of death. So I've been by his side for almost an eternity, and I've never doubted his decisions. Jin-woo asks for more of the Unk lore, and he says, alright, it's about to be a long story. Back when I was still a fruit of the world tree, all the soldiers of the heaven are born on the branches of the world tree in the form of a fruit. It's a tree large enough to cover the sky with its branches. Damn, they cut off the Unk lore and show Jin-woo at his house, and he's made a big meal, just good vibes and shit, but the whole time he's in his head. It feels like he has to tell them about the war that's coming, because after seeing the power of the Dragon Monarch, he can't guarantee anybody's safety. Dragon King and his army literally burned everything to ashes. Now they're targeting the earth. Now Jin-Ah's just yapping, but his mom is like, bro, is something going on? Whenever your dad was about to do something dangerous, he often cooked a meal like this. You really take after your father, you know? He plays it off like, nah, it's nothing like that. But hold up, there's somebody at the door. And he opens it saying, what's the matter? And it's Jin-ho's dad who just wants to talk to him for a bit. After waking up from the eternal slumber, he thought he was special, and I realized, like, bro, miracles don't happen that easily. And the only people to wake up from it are me and your mom, so I had to suspect you. So why did you help me? I just decided that you were a trustworthy person. Now, if you were somebody who'd do anything to get what you want, I wouldn't have risked the danger to help you. But really, it's because he didn't try to use Jin-ho to get to him. He approached him straight up as a man. I don't know how to show my gratitude, but please, let me restore half the favor. Just let me do something. Is there anything you want? Anything at all? And he says, not really, but if something happens to me, can you take care of my mom and sister? He says, really, that's enough? Don't worry about it. Just leave it up to me.